They appeared before Thomas Tayebwa, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, in the company of Association's Chair Thaddeus Musoke, to discuss some of the problems facing the traders as well as some suggestions they believe will benefit both the government and Ugandan traders. According to the chairperson of Kasita, many farms were severely impacted by the COVID-19 times and are only now beginning to recover, if not still fighting to do so. It would be wiser if the government promoted non-tax incentives which benefit everyone instead of tax holidays which just favor a select few.
As Kasita, we recommend that the government can champion non-tax incentives. Non-tax incentives or strategy. This is a strategy whereby the government can design infrastructure. Like currently, we hear the government is trying to repair the levee. This is good news to us, to fully utilize the lake, because those are cheap means of transport. And these ones benefit majority of Ugandans than tax incentives where few companies benefit. If few companies benefit, so the few Ugandans who are paying taxes, you find that they are overtaxed.
In spite of several meetings they have had with various government institutions, according to Musoke, the majority of the dealers are out of business as a result of bank loans and their assets are currently being auctioned. He continues by saying that accessing the government recovery fund, which was placed in the Uganda Development Bank and other commercial banks, has also been difficult due to numerous restrictions and high interest rates.
Loans accumulated. We try to engage different government agencies and the banks. You find that what was designed wasn't effective enough, because currently banks are auctioning buildings, auctioning property, and the business community even cannot access top-ups. We are trying, as Kasita, lobbying different government agencies and requesting your office to see how best we can assist our comrades who are in such a very tricky situation. The government allocated a recovery fund.
The members have also expressed their displeasure with the 18% value-added tax that was recently imposed on animal feeds but had been removed by the 2017 Amendment Act. Some claim that this is an attempt to cripple the agricultural sector.
So we are coming up to realize that recently most of our companies trading in the poultry and animal feed concentrate are being asked to pay taxes of import duty on items that we brought in and cleared through the normal process of URA, and they were duly released. Then URA comes up to say that unfortunately there was a misclassification, and because of that we are supposed to pay backwards import duty of 18%. And as far as we are import duty of 10%. And this is really in gross amounts of money. But you also understand that unless the objective of URA is to bankrupt us by engaging us to pay this unfair tax through their own mistake, it wouldn't be fair. So it is upon that reason that we have tried to come back to Parliament, who we believe are the framers of this law, to interpret it clearly. But
in his response to the members of Kasita, the Deputy Speaker noted their concerns and forwarded their petition to the Committee of Trade, where it will be discussed with all parties involved in an effort to find a permanent solution to the problems raised by Kasita.
You presented them. They are very strong and well-documented issues, which I will refer to the Committee on Trade to go and do a comprehensive study and engage the different stakeholders. Through this engagement, some of the issues, especially right now, the taxes on clothes, okay? Those ones you can even hand at committee level. Because we would go back to what did we agree last time. Yes. Why are you URA now charging different from what was agreed with the minister and captured within the agreement. Okay? So those, and I will refer to them.
As much as Parliament is eager to back Kasita, Tayebwa also urges that it is time for them to begin backing government's import substitution. He urges that they do not want an economy that is totally run by foreigners, which has put strain on the nation's infrastructure, but rather one where both native people and the foreigners work side by side.
Proud to be importing 100 containers without exporting any. This is a question you have to sit down as Kasita. You look at. Are you proud? Because you're not only, you find you generate income of 10 billion a month, but you don't employ more than 2 people. Because the only people you employ are people to just clear the containers. They keep moving. But you have enough capital. You have enough exposure to even start producing some of these products which you're importing. Some of the factories of the people you're importing from, you're even richer than them. But now they are keeping jobs in their country. The cost of doing business in Uganda has tremendously gone down. So this is where we need you as Kasita. How can you indeed support the import substitution strategy of government?
All right, that was the engagement between Kampala City Traders Association and the Deputy Speaker to Parliament, Right Honourable Thomas Tayebwa, as they were discussing more about it. And one of the keynotes that I've picked from there is that he mentioned something to do with, don't we feel ashamed of importing more of these containers when we have nothing to export? Because they believe we are rich in textiles here in Uganda. The textile industry can feed quite a number of those. But then surprisingly, the goods are quite expensive. For example, the clothes being made in here look more expensive than those that are being imported. And sometimes Ugandans would wish to go for something cheaper that they can afford than something that is way, way expensive. But then, Mr. Kwebiha, I would want to understand, is the problem due to lack of awareness by the traders? Do they know what is happening on ground? Do they know how these taxes are affecting them?
Well, yes, a few of them have the technical know-how of, like, handling issues of their own taxation. Okay. But the majority are very lacking. At the end of the day, you find that a trader is so much into his clearing agent. All the powers, he gives them to the clearing agent. Okay. The clearing agent knows his password. He is the one, managing his team. He's the one managing his system, the filings, blah, blah, at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you find that it's so green. And every year, every financial year, there are changes in the tax policies and all that. You find that if this year you are importing phones at maybe 40%, I'm just giving an example, tomorrow you find that the value has changed. But the next day you find that it has changed. But because you don't want to follow the tax policies to dot you as a trader or an importer, what happens is that you board a plane without even getting to know of the charges, the tax charges on what you're going to import. Okay. You only get frustrated at the custom point where they're telling you that brother, they think the value is 3 times than the previous. Okay. And that's when you hear of traders, importers losing their commodities, leaving commodities with URA. And again, URA is mandated to probably recover its money. So what they do, those are the things you hear that they are put on auction. And every other day URA announces of the auction. They are not auctioning their own things. They are auctioning the business, community things. But where does this come from? It's because of lack of awareness. Then now you find this person, maybe he went with a $200,000 US, but $200,000 US, with ignorance of what is going to import. Okay. Then he gets frustrated at the at the tax body. And then he leaves the commodities. But again, in the 200,000 USA dollar, he had a loan and he had mortgaged his house, you know, and other, you know, kind of property. Then at the end of the day, you find that the things are auctioned.
Okay.
And then he's supposed to pay the banks. The banks will automatically come and, you know, take over the property, and then this person is totally frustrated. So lack of awareness. Now you find that the clearing agent, some clearing agents are not very clear. They will probably not give you the right information for their own benefit, because at the end of the day, clearing agent is the one dealing with the
That is what I wanted to do. That is what I wanted to know. What is the role of the clearing agent?
A clearing agent is the worldwide, you know, internationally, you know,
recognized.
That's true, because like
do we have only one person in here? Do we have only one?
No, we've got different clearing agents. Very many different clearing agents.
Okay.
And the choice is yours. Understand that? And they are accepted internationally. Understand that? Because there is the world clearing, you know, body, clearing agents body, world over. They've got even a president and all that. So, you know, they do good work, I would really say. They are intermediators between the tax body and the importer, because at the end of the day, you find a business person is very busy, and then the clearing agent is doing that work. Take him as a legal representative in courts of law. So with this one here is the one probably, you know, getting to connect the two, because like just imagine you're very busy in your shop, and then you're supposed to deal with the business. You are at the business point, and again at the end of the day, you are supposed to be in URA chasing up clearing things. So the clearing agent comes in here. So that is his work mandated.
Are they doing enough for the client?
Well, at the end of the day, the client also should also be, you know, vigilant.
Okay.
Exactly. If a client is not vigilant, one, from the point of choosing your clearing agent, somebody with due diligence, you must make the due diligence on the clearing agent you are getting, because there are those that are so fraudulent by nature, whereby like they will never sympathize with you as a taxpayer. They will always probably creating certain kind of amounts that are not authentic. You understand that? And very untrustworthy. So you need to have a clearing agent that you really see, one, is very honest at the end of the day, because mostly the taxpayers that are so ignorant, they even fear to go to URA. That's the problem. They even fear to engage the URA, you know, person to probably, you know, bargain and have the right value. Because at some point, truth is that commodities, you find that a commodity has got a value, and I want to take an example, from 5 to 7. You see? From 5 to what? To 7. That means they can give you an assessment of 5, which is okay. They can give you an assessment of 6. They can give you an assessment of 7. Understand that? That means it's within the value, that commodity. Now, at the end of the day, such a commodity that has got a value from 5 to 7, that means somebody can decide to give you a 7, which is much high. But within still the law, if he gave you an assessment of 6, still is within the law. If he gave you the value of 5, so it's within the law. Now, that means you find that somebody has paid the value of 7, and another one has paid the value of what? 5. That means somebody would, a clearing agent that is not authentic, he would tell you that, you know, somebody to give us a 5, let us put in something small, a bribe, which is very unfair, when actually you can really argue it out and they give you the value of 5.
So I would want to understand, are these clearing agents trying to benefit more from the traders than the traders are earning from their businesses?
I would not want to say it like that, but absolutely they are also earning enough. That's very true. The only problem, a clearing agent that is not honest, he will do this. He will use your TIN number to use to use it for other commodities that were not yours. Remember, remember, if you are a business person of a value maybe like 20,000 USA dollar, that within you usually import things of around 20,000 USA dollar. Then at the end of the day, URA will see that you've hit, you've gone to 50, 70, 80, 100, blah, blah, blah. Then you are likely to pay more tax. I understand that. That means you have a lot of stock. I understand that. Now, that means at the end of the day, you are going to have an assessment, which is going to be very high. Now, that means what you did, for you, you are this way relaxed. You gave your TIN number to somebody.
Who is in control of it?
Somebody is in control of this.
Okay.
He will use Mr. Sonko's commodity to pass on that. He will use the John's commodity to pass on that. So at the end of the day, you'll find that on your system, they've thrown there a tax charge, which is so high. And then still you run to the same URA. But then how did this come about? I understand that. He will pretend to say, we don't know. Now what should we do? I think let's find a way how we can, phase this out and all that. Still at the end of the day, you are the one pulling what? You are pulling from your pocket. But you are paying, you on something,
okay.
You are taking a charge which does not belong to you. This is not your obligation.
Okay.
I understand that. Mr. Sonko, Mr. John, used it fraudulent. So at the end of the day, when you're using a tax agent, please get a tax agent with some good, kind of a good history of diligence, somebody that has integrity.
But now let's talk about the security purpose and privacy levels of a business owner. What does it mean for a clearing agent to use your TIN?
Well, at the end of the day, he must use it for one reason.
Okay.
That it is from the system, from your TIN number, that you will probably do the filings, do the clearing and all that. Because like the TIN number, tax identification number, absolutely is the one trying to probably get to explain all about you. You understand? So he has a right to. But the problem of you forgetting even the password of your own.
Then he has control.
And he has control. Understand that? Then like whenever the things come in and Mr. X, come, then you hand over the documents.
So that means you end up paying for his goods sometimes.
At the end of the day, it's really very bad probably to go into a financial cost that you've not understood.
Okay.
I understand that.
Because
somebody is telling you it is this charge, it is this charge.
Yet you're paying for their goods.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, get to have information of what you are in. You are in a business, and the business starts with the business cost, and the tax is a business cost that you should really get to know. So the taxes are really paid. Are they really the right taxes? Understand that. Anyway, somebody is telling me that I should give a kickback, a cassette, a katono, and all that. For what reason? At the end of the day, because like any money that is a bribe can never be receipted. Understand that. Is this person really lying me? Okay. Is it true? And at the end of the day, sometimes even the URA guys have really come out, and they're like, the money that you claim to give as something small, to quicken the system. That is not very true. It is not. It does not go into their pocket some other times. It is true. Yes, there could be some other URA officials that are not very, authentic. That's at a personal level. Okay. But again, the clearing agents, sometimes he can lie you. He can lie you. He can create a little threat into you, a cost that he's overweighted. Then at the end of the day, you run into panic, and then you start giving in a bribe, which may not reach the other side. So what we need to do as taxpayers, you need to get to learn of the taxes that you are paying. Okay. You need to get to learn of what you are importing. What are the tax liabilities that you are, how do you go about these values? What are the values? In what range in what range of values does my commodities fall in? Like if they are from 5 to 7 or to 8, why have I been, given a tax charge of 8 when actually there is even a chance of I having a 5? You understand? So there should be some kind of vigilance, and that's why as CAFO we've really come out and we've gone ahead to have an MOU with the URA, probably to always come and do some kind of tax education, to different sectors. Those ones in plastics, those ones in garments, those ones in shoes and all that. Those ones in different commodities. We've always brought them. It was maybe after COVID that we had to stop for a reason of not, congregating, in big numbers.
Okay.
But before then, the URA had really given, a positive response towards educating the public about the taxes. But that does not mean that when they come downtown and then people complain about, they change the policies. No,
okay.
Because there are certain things people really come out with the pertaining issues, complaining about certain things, and the URA person cannot change there and then because it must go within the system. But there are other stakeholders.
Okay.
The Minister of Finance must come in, the Parliament must come in to change a certain kind of policy.
Okay, and if I'm to ask again, what should be done now? Lastly,
right,
to smoothen the business for these people.
Well, first and foremost, I love value addition.
Okay.
I myself, I'm a Ugandan.
Okay.
I would really want things to be made from Uganda.
Okay.
That's one. But how much has the government come in? Because at the end of the day, why importers are suffering is because they want value addition. They want to export more than what they are importing. All these taxes they are trying to put, we can really feel it and we can really see it, that it is in the interest of protecting the home producer. I understand that? The home manufacturer. Now, what is the way out? They should probably enhance value addition, but with good policies.
Okay.
Of recent, I was looking at how a small producer starts. That is from the SMES, small, medium, and the small, micro, and medium, kind of enterprises. Okay. I want to assure you, Mr. Sonko, if you wanted to start something small, maybe you want to make a Vaseline. You've gone to school, you've studied these things, you've come out and said, like, no, for me, I don't want to look for a job. I want to start. Do you know what UNBS charges you as somebody at the micro level, to give you a certification of your small kind of Vaseline?
Okay.
The certification of somebody at the micro level is 500,000
Ugandan shillings.
That's a lot of money.
True.
Somebody has come from the university. Somebody has said, I will not look for a job.
I will start up my business.
I can make, I want to go to value addition. I can make a Kazigo, something like that, of Zico. But one brand of your Kazigo may be Shevas, Sonko, Shevas kind of Kazigo, sort of. You who has come from the university, you are working from home, maybe in your father's backyard. You don't have capital, but you know the kind of ingredients. The others you can go in the wilderness, in the jungle, and then you bring them and then you buy something small. You have a capital of 100,000. What UNBS does, Uganda National Bureau of Standards, will it's by mandatory that for one car brand you pay 500,000. For those at large scale, production, it is 1 million. For us, we are saying that is a frustrative measure
for the small business.
For the small business, if you want people to enhance value addition, probably, if need be, because like the government is looking at value addition everywhere, if need be, the government should probably reduce such costs.
Okay.
So that a starter is relieved. He can walk into UNBS, tell the UNBS to come and do the due diligence, probably check the standard, the value of this small young entrepreneur of his commodity, and then the certification should be something very small.
Okay.
So 500,000, I've already told them it's too much. Now, the government went into the parish model, program, whereby they're giving, out money and all that. If the government is giving maybe 17 million to over 100 people or something like that, 30 people, something like that,
yes,
then why should UNBS come and charge 500,000? If, for example, young entrepreneurs have their own, docket, they are 50, and then you've given them maybe like 2 million to start. Understand that? And each has taken, how much has each taken? less than 200,000. But they want to start something. Now the policies should be checked. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Right from the tax policies, right from the standard policies, and also they should also increase the development fund. A development fund that they're trying to give to the people. Because like at the end of the day, you'll give it to me, and then the policies that you've created will come and swap the money. You've given me 200,000 to start something as in value addition. UNBS comes and takes 500,000. Is that rational? No. So there is no rational. And also, what should be done? URA or government. I know you have your database.
Okay.
And you know that every year we have got maybe 500 maybe importers. Are you looking at that?
I am.
And then at the end of the day, at the end of the year, you see there are 200,000. Sorry, 200.
Okay.
Where did the 300 go? People start importing by a container. Tomorrow is half container. The other day quarter container. Now is in groupage. At chocolate of Google. Somebody was bringing. That means he has lost money somewhere. So if you are trying to change people from import substitution, if you are taking people to import substitution, then probably don't also swap their money so much. Don't put policies that will frustrate them. So start with the mindset. Change them slowly. Government should really come out and show us the substitute of the imports.
Okay. And due to time, we're ending our discussion here, but I would want in your final remarks, I did forget to ask, what does CAFO do?
Exactly.
And I believe you should be putting that in your parting remarks as we're winding up here.
Well, CAFO is Kampala Arcaders Advocacy Forum, and 783 arcades subscribe with us.
Okay.
With over 50,000, membership. And we are here to elevate the voice and advocate for the rights of traders in arcades of Kampala. We are so confined in arcades of what? Of Kampala, to advocate for their rights. CAFO is so proud of being at the lead of the rental income, the landlord tenants, bill,
okay.
Then which became an act which was signed by the president, I think, in June, and it became an act, that amendment, because the way the traders in arcades of Kampala were being treated, the way they were relating with their landlords, it was so unfair because of the law that had a lot of laguna and all that. It was a very old, an act of 1949. Okay. So the housing sector changed, and it brought in other issues that needed to be incorporated. So part of us were part of that kind of amendment at Private Sector Foundation. Okay. So we are so proud on that. CAFO has got one of the biggest microfinance. It's strictly for the arcaders, which is situated on Mukwana Arcade, AF 11, 12, 13. So, close to quarter floor, we are renting on it, and there is that CAFO microfinance, whereby the traders in arcades of Kampala come in and get financial access, and it is unsecured loan. Your security is your address within arcades of Kampala.
Right.
I understand that. So, but still, the government should really come out still and see how they work on the financial, policies. The interest rate that are going every other day up still is affecting the business community. So, as in CAFO, we are also arbitrators in the trade policies. Every other day, you find that the traders have issues within fellow traders. So we come in and then arbitrate and see. Not everything should be taken to the courts of law. So we come in and then they harmonize and then they live peacefully within the arcades. We are also proud that we are having the biggest league now, also Arcaders Sports League. Because of COVID, we had stopped it, and it's again starting next year.
Okay.
Arcade to arcade, football competitions and all that. So CAFO does a lot of things.
All right. Many thanks for joining us this morning. We've been humbled to have you. And that is Muzamiru Kwebiha Abori, who is the Public Relations Officer for the Kampala Arcaders Advocacy Forum, CAFO. And our topic of discussion comes to an end. After the break, I'll be heading on ground to link up with Barija Andrew.